thanks for tuning in. I'm life coach Savannah Rose Johnson, Coach Savvy, and today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about some contagion coaching because all we're hearing right now in the news is about coronavirus, and I just want to be a bit of a peacemaker and shining light through this situation, because if you really can take the time to understand how society works, especially our society today in 2020, it'll shed a little bit of light on why corona is a thing, honestly, and it'll help you, I think, have a little bit of peace of mind through this situation. Taking a deep look at how our society in 2020 functions today will give us a really good idea of how the spread and severity factors play into why coronavirus has broken out so fast. We live in a very unique day and age. This is the 21st century, and this is a 21st century problem. If it weren't coronavirus, it'd be something else that was popping up, because our society today is so globalized and so connected all around the world. It's not just a United States problem, it's not just a China problem. We're so interconnected with trading, and our economies intertwined, everything, and that's just a consequence of our modern age right now. That being said, this is an inevitable problem. Therefore, it's how we react to it that's going to set the tone for the years to come, because I don't see us stopping plane rides or flights anytime soon. Temporarily, yeah, I guess it's a solution, but that can't be happening all the time. This is just how our world functions now. It's really good to pay attention to just how you react to situations and be mindful of the things that you can't control and not stress yourself out more than you really need to. Honestly, coronavirus isn't a whole lot different from the regular flu season, and not only that, if you're in the top hemisphere of the world, we're all going through allergy season right now. Bottom hemisphere of the globe, y'all are going through cold and flu season. Cold and flu season I think is kind of year-round, honestly, at this point. Understanding the spread and severity factors in our society is going to be key. So basically, coronavirus broke out in China, over in Asia. Just be mindful of how China is different from other parts of the world. They have billions of people really clustered together, and then think about cities like Beijing, where they already are having to wear masks because of the respiratory issues going on in that country because of the pollution factors. So China is a different nation. It has different regulations for its climate control and climate change perspective, and the air quality is just different than how it is in some parts of the United States. So respiratory issues, again, that feeds into immunity. It also boils down to immunity sensitivity. So think about who's actually having fatal cases of coronavirus. It's a lot of times children or elderly people or people who have already just sensitive immune systems, whether they're recovering from a different illness or they're just not in great health as it is. If you're taking care of yourself and really prioritizing your self-care and your hygiene the way that you should have been doing anyways, coronavirus shouldn't really be a big issue for you. I think everyone's freaking out, and it's just kind of a chain reaction, because you look and you see someone freaking out and you're like, oh, I should probably be freaking out too. That's just how human beings act. The human tendency to follow trends is just ingrained in our biology. If you think about the animal kingdom, the outlier is the one that gets eaten by the lion. So it's kind of in our nature to want to band together and do all the same things. So as soon as people start to kind of freak out over here, everyone's going to be observing that and think, ooh, I better start freaking out as well. And a great example of this in my region in particular, in the South, is we don't see a lot of snow. And so when there's a smidgen of snow, even if it just lasts for a couple hours, everyone freaks out and takes off work and cancels school and buys all the bread and milk in the fridge, and it's just, we're a laughing stock to everybody up in Michigan who has snow in July, and they just look at us and think y'all are crazy, because we're acting that way. And it's just because we're unfamiliar with the idea of snow, we don't know what to do, so we just go to the extreme. And that's the same thing with coronavirus. We're not really sure what to do, so we're all just freaking out and going to extreme measures, when really, if you just are a sanitary person, then you'll be okay. So another thing to take into consideration and be mindful about is our globalizing culture. And so not only are we sharing fashion trends and our economies are intertwined, or we are sharing food. You can get all kinds of food all over the world nowadays. Think about having seen McDonald's overseas, those kind of things. That's the kind of culture that we live in, and it's not going to be exclusive to just the good things and the tasty things and the pretty things. It's going to mean globalizing the negative stuff too. So that's why we have a lot of conflicting belief systems and violence that pop up in our cultures. And also, it's going to mean diseases. Think back in history about examples of cultures intertwining and passing diseases to each other, especially how Native Americans in the United States were impacted greatly by the diseases brought over from England. And with the colonizers, it was tragic for Native Americans because they didn't have any kind of immunity going on when it comes to smallpox or flu and those kind of things. And so a lot of people died rapidly because of the immunity factor and the exposure factor. And so that's why cases have popped up so quickly, is because not that this is any kind of super virus, it's just that it's new and it's going to take time for us to adjust. And scientists are already working on amazing vaccines, so soon enough this is going to be old news. This is just the way that it works right now with our system. And that kind of leads me into my next point, is how media is also globalized. We have media outlets that are followed globally as well. And so this means that you're hearing about it everywhere because you're hearing about it everywhere. That's just how our culture works right now, especially in the United States. Is we are a culture heavily invested in the entertainment industry and in the media outlets. And so coronavirus is the hottest topic right now to talk about because everyone's freaking out about it, and fear is what makes people want to resort to the news to try to get some answers, and the news is just trying to inform us, but it's kind of blowing things out of proportion a little bit. So just be mindful of that. And honestly, all the news stations, they aren't saying different things, they're all just saying the same thing, and they all have to be talking about it because it is a current relevant issue. With this globalized culture that we live in nowadays, even our economy is intertwined globally. So think about how much the United States imports goodies from China. Everything you see will say made in China, made in China. And if China is shut down in a quarantine right now, or in Asia, people aren't able to work, that's impacting us. It's not necessarily that it's going to be shut down forever. It's just that is the best solution at the moment to try to stop the spread even more. Because again, think about how just super tightly knit the population is over in China. And so they just kind of need a little bit of a break. And unfortunately, that is taking a big toll on our economy as well. But don't freak out, don't move all this stuff around, because that's just going to stimulate the chaos. You don't need to stimulate the chaos. It's all about how we react to the situation. So if you're optimistic and you saving money is good anyways. You should be doing that anyways. So it's always good to have an emergency fund for cases like this. So everything around the globe is just kind of going into shock, kind of going into this panic mode. A little contagion coaching for you. What can you do to help protect yourself against coronavirus? If you haven't already heard from your school or your workplace or even your apartment building about ways that you can protect yourself, just think about it as protecting yourself from the flu. It's very similar. You should already be doing some hygiene and sanitation stuff as it is, just maybe kick it up a notch just because it is an airborne transferred virus. So if you're interacting with people in small spaces, making sure to wipe down countertops or spray disinfectant spray, those kinds of things will definitely help. But when it comes to washing your hands frequently and using sanitizer after you shake hands or anything of that matter, you should probably be doing that anyways because people are gross. That's just a fact. We're human beings. Not everybody is squeaky clean all the time. Stress is a key damager of your immunity. And so if you're stressing out and freaking out about coronavirus, you're probably going to manifest getting coronavirus because your immune system is going to be down. Stress and not taking care of yourself is what's going to lower your immune system and make you susceptible to these kinds of viruses, whether it's just a bad cold, whether it's flu, or whether it's a coronavirus. It's not everybody who's getting it is dying. So it's not like it's an apocalyptic kind of virus. It also boils down to immunity sensitivity. So think about who's actually having fatal cases of coronavirus. It's a lot of times children or elderly people or people who have already just sensitive immune systems, whether they're recovering from a different illness or they're just not in great health as it is. If you're taking care of yourself and really prioritizing your self-care and your hygiene the way that you should have been doing anyways, coronavirus shouldn't really be a big issue for you. I think this virus has brought a lot of awareness to people's hygiene habits and sanitation habits, and it's just going to be the new normal. I'm afraid, because that's just the world that we live in with the globalization. I think 2021 is going to bring coronavirus 2.0. Who even knows? I hope not. Know that there are just some things that we can't control, but what we can control is how we react to situations, what we can do to take care of ourselves, and that in turn is going to lead to everybody taking care of themselves and not having to have this be such a huge deal all the time. So, long story short, Contagion Coaching Edition. Coronavirus is a new consequence to this modern globalized society that we live in. Try not to stress too much about it. Just learn how to adapt and how to react, and it's gonna be okay. The world's gonna keep turning, and it all just boils down to how we incorporate healthy hygiene and sanitation factors into our daily routine. Also, take care of your environment. If we can take care of the world that we live in and the people around us, then everyone's going to be healthier and more balanced overall, and we won't have these super huge ebbs and flows. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope that this video brought you a little peace of mind and help you feel a little bit more prepared. A little extra help for you is that you can eat foods with lots of vitamin C. So oranges are great. Kiwis are actually loaded with vitamin C for being an itty bitty fruit. They have so much vitamin C in them. And then also elderberries are great for immunity support. So you can get them in gummy version. You can eat elderberry syrup. It's great. It really makes a huge difference. I take it every day myself. Interconnection is great, and I think that we should absolutely celebrate the globalized world that we live in, but just be mindful that there are consequences that might not be so good, like when it comes to diseases that spread from this interconnectivity. But it's just a matter of time before this is all the new normal. We're kicking off 2020 to a very exciting start. Just take care of yourself. Take care of those that you love. Take care of your space. Take care of this world, and we will continue to all adapt and grow together in this amazing globalized world that we live in. I'm Life Coach Savannah Rose Johnson. I really hope that this video brought you some peace of mind and some preparation steps going forward. Thanks so much for watching. Stay well, and I'll see you next time. Bye.